did a documentary on Diddy. And you know, him and Diddy been at it for a while. You know, they've been at it for a while. You know, they enemies. Straight up. You know, 50 don't like him. He don't like 50. You know, and Puff had a lot of power at one time, you know, to stop people from making moves. You know, and he was flexing. He flexed a lot of power on a lot of people, you know, took advantage of a lot of people. And 50 did the documentary on him. I want to see here, you know, what they're saying with it. Now, let's check this out real quick. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Tonight, the new Netflix docuseries Sean Combs' The Reckoning is out and making headlines.
Taking 8 nuclear bombs, you know what I'm saying, straight to the head. And I'm tired of going back and forth with y'all, with the lawyers. That's just not me. Okay, so.
With never-before-seen footage of the former hip-hop kingmaker from the days leading up to his 2024 arrest.
I'm not a referee. So I'm gonna get off the phone right now. Listen to me. I'm gonna get off the phone right now, and I am gonna let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what nobody said. Let's just here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
Combs' legal team says Netflix is relying on stolen footage, even sending a cease and desist to the streamer ahead of its release, calling it a shameful hit piece. Something the documentary's director, Alexandria Stapleton, denied in a statement on Monday, saying that they, quote, lawfully obtained the footage.
Hey, yo, you think we can hire editors?
Behind the series is executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, who recently sat down with NBC News alongside Stapleton.
How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their sources.
50 Cent did not appear worried about potential legal action from Combs.
Zero concern about that. There's maybe the last 3 documentaries, you would have said the same thing to that. Last 3 that exist, you know.
The project, which took over a year to make, includes interviews from Combs' inner circle.
I began to see the ugliness and the nature of him as a human being. That came from me seeing the only thing he cared about was himself.
We really tried to chronicle the ecosystem that he created and to give people a very well-rounded perspective. I don't think that the time was really given to really look underneath the hood.
One of those interviews is with Danity Kane singer Aubrey O'Day, who in an emotional scene reads an affidavit from a woman saying she walked in on O'Day being assaulted by Combs and another man in 2005.
You realize the burden that puts on my soul for the past year, the weight of that man and his I will never get up from under it.
Stapleton says O'Day wrestled with whether to share this on camera.
She didn't take that information and say, and this happened to me. I think that what you see in the film is her struggling to digest, did this happen to me or not?
Combs' team declined to comment on specific claims from the docuseries, calling it a one-sided narrative led by a publicly admitted adversary. 50 Cent denied having bad blood with Combs.
Do you think that 50 is being vindictive in this situation? You know, getting his lick back for Puff, you know, doing certain things to him in the industry? Because, you know, when it's war, you don't know how somebody gonna play, you know, and 50 about business, but at the same time, you can see this here was something that, you know, he liked to do. It's like, man, listen, I want to make sure that, you know, I expose him some more, because the whole time the trial was going on, you know, 50 was sending shots left and right, and he was going ham, you know, putting different things out there saying, you know, don't let him out, and supposedly, you know, wrote a letter. Like, 50 was definitely antagonizing the man through the whole process. We know definitely Diddy was foul. And, you know, when certain individuals foul to people, you know, it's going to come back, especially when you don't know how to, you know, relax. A lot of these jokers got to learn. You got to relax. And Diddy was on 10 all the time. You can even see in the video right there that he was on 10 with the people there. So, you know, that energy that you put out towards others, you got to know it's going to come back. So that's why I say you got to be mindful when dealing with people, because the same people that, you know, you might act like you got power over or you can disrespect through your journey, they be the same people that come back at you. You know, it's a lot of people that can't be by themselves. They need other people around them to make them feel validated for certain things. And, you know, they're real disrespectful. And then they expect the people to still be there from no matter what, when those are the same people that's going to like really turn on you.
It didn't start as a feud. It just was started with me being uncomfortable. My invitation to come hang out, but it felt like he was trying to figure out if I was heterosexual or into some other things. So I didn't hang out with him. But it's not a beef because we didn't do anything to each other.
The docuseries also re-examines the murders of Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. in the 90s, raising questions about what Combs knew. Combs has denied all allegations and has never been charged in either death.
You don't have Puff Daddy without Biggie Smalls. We had sources, more intel and information. It was the first time that you could really tell this story.
Combs stood trial for 8 weeks and was acquitted of the more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, and sentenced to 50 months in federal prison for 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. 2 jurors from the trial are featured in the doc.
Do you believe that Sean Combs is a violent person?
Based on that Intercontinental video, he can be.
I thought that they were very different people and they could kind of represent, you know, one grew up knowing who Sean Combs was. One had no idea, you know, who this man was. And their perspectives, you know, were really interesting.
For the filmmakers, they say making the documentary was bigger than them.
If I didn't say anything, you could assume that all of hip hop culture is comfortable with his actions.
It's bigger than just about Sean Combs or Cassie. It also should be a reflection on us as an American public.
Chloe Malas joins us now in studio.
Now, like, I do understand what 50's saying when he says that if he didn't say nothing, that it would seem like the hip hop culture is all right with Puff's actions, because that's how they made it seem. You know, no matter what he was doing to people in the industry, taking advantage of them, the contracts, people still made it seem like Puff was cool. You know, even through the trial, certain individuals wouldn't say anything about Puff. But it's a lot of people that really didn't like him because he flexed his power. And he was the type of individual that would blackball you if he wanted to, if you didn't go with his agenda. So, you know, it's like in a situation with Wack, you know, certain individuals wasn't speaking out about him until I went hard in the paint, being so consistent. You know, when certain people were speaking about Wack, people would hear it, they just bypass it. But I do this shit every single day. It makes it where there's no choice for people to address it. You know, it's no choice for other people to, you know, say something about it. Because every single day, this is what I'm doing. So, you know, the difference though with 50 is he already got the voice. So him dropping something, it's going to spread fast, you know, as we see, because this shit is out.
Chloe, I understand you just got off the phone with Aubrey O'Day. What did she say?
I did. Aubrey O'Day is someone that I've known for many years as a journalist. I've interviewed her. That's how I met her early on in my career. And she said that although she has no official comment, she did give me permission tonight to share with everyone that she was very emotional on the phone with me. She was crying. She was trying to catch her breath, trying to get her words out. And she let me know that she's just now sitting down and watching the docuseries. So.
And before we let you go, I have to ask you as well, because Diddy's team has been aggressively fighting this documentary at every turn, right? Can you take us through a little bit of that?
Sure. So over the summer, Combs's legal team sent a cease and desist to Netflix, but they had no idea that they had somehow obtained this footage that they are now saying is stolen and unauthorized. Now, we don't know how Netflix or 50 Cent or Alexandria Stapleton, the documentary's director, how they got this footage, but they say that they obtained it lawfully. But as of just yesterday, Combs's legal team sent another cease and desist, but Netflix did not back down. They released this 4-part series, but at some point that cease and desist will be legally filed, and we'll just have to see if Combs's team wants to really pursue a lawsuit here.
Really interesting reporting on something you've covered extensively, from the trial now to this. Chloe Melas, thank you so much.
Yeah, so they tried to stop it, but it still came out. So the damage is already done. 50 accomplished his mission to put the doc out. And we don't know if, later they'll get it taken down and they'll, sue or whatever and get paid for it. But they got the doc out there. He did what he was trying to do. But you get back the energy you put out, man. If you a dirtball and you out here taking advantage of people, there's a lot of people like that. Whack day gonna come. It's a lot of people like that, man, that be out here taking advantage of people. It's all good when they doing it, right? It's all good. They enjoying it. Some of these people, thrive off of having control over someone else. There's a lot of people like that in this world. They thrive off of controlling other people. But guess what? When it's your turn to feel the flame from that shit, you don't want no parts of it. We all, are our own person. But some people are just, not as strong as others, and they fall for anything. They're looking for opportunity. And we know when people are in position, they use their position to control others that want to get an opportunity. This is a part of life in every way. That's why you got to be really mindful on who you gravitate to and who you accept a hand from, right? You really got to be mindful, because somebody will put their hand out, to act like they want to help you, but at the same time they want to take advantage of you, control you, manipulate you, and it's for their benefit. So that's something that people really gotta, have their eyes open to and understand that all money ain't good money, and everybody don't have good intentions. And when somebody has bad intentions, you really won't see it until things already have taken progress. They don't show you up front. You might see a sign or two, right? You might see a sign or two, but then you might ignore it. And then later on, you really see what type of individual this person is. And, sometimes people get, already mentally stuck in a situation and feeling like they can't do nothing else. They might feel like they got a family to feed and, they don't want to lose what they got going on. But sometimes, if you do get caught up in a situation like that, it's okay to start over. It might work out better, avoiding yourself from going through more trauma. Some people will stay in these situations and they got to deal with like more trauma. It's like, damn, you should have got away from this person, but you sit there and deal with more trauma, and all you do is inflict more pain on yourself, because then you might end up in a bad situation anyway, but you sit there thinking like it's going to get better. And it's never going to get better when the situation is already bad. Yeah. And I gotta be one to say that it's hard to let certain things go when your mind is telling you it'll get better. It'll work itself out. Nah, it won't work itself out. It's going to take you to work it out. You got to make a better decision. And that's just a fact. It's not going to work itself out. If something ain't right, it's not right. You need to make a better decision. Let that decision go, move on, and you be the one that work it out. Not it'll work itself out. Nah, I'm going to leave this alone. I'm done with this. That's how you work it out. But sometimes you might be fighting and pushing with something that is nothing there for you. There's no growth there for you. You can't elevate in that situation. You only can go backwards. But some people be trying to fight against yourself. We all got, opportunities to do different things. And sometimes that opportunity that you might have tried ran its course. Go do another thing. Work on something else. Yeah. And a lot of people that dealt with Puff, they was scared to start over. They was scared to, have to figure it out. They was scared to have to do something else. They thought that was all they know. And he was using a lot of people, though. You could tell that. He was definitely using a lot of people and manipulating them, because ain't no way that you the richest person out there and everybody else you was dealing with is suffering financial issues. That dare tell you something. You the richest person out there, but everybody else that was dealing with you, they got financial issues. You can see it though, Some people gotta learn the hard way. Some people learn, the easy way. They know, man, I ain't dealing with him. They might have had a bump in the road, boom. And maybe later on things might turn out better for you. Like with Mace. You can see, he was on some BS with Mace. Straight up. He didn't want to let Mace out the deal. Mace telling him, yo, man, let me out of this. He had to wait, I think, 20 years. That's why he wasn't making no music, because Puff had owned everything. And he waited the time out. And things is working in his favor now. Think about it. He in position, and that's one thing, about people that are determined, no matter what, that you don't give up on yourself. Even if you in a bad situation, don't ever give up on yourself, because some people be giving up on themselves because things don't work right. Don't give up on yourself. Work on something else. It's something else for you. It's another direction you can go in. Mace ain't give up on himself. It came full surface. And now they getting money with the podcast. I'm sure that, they never thought that they would be the ones that get into a podcast and do no podcast stuff. They like, man, we rappers. We ain't getting into that. I'm sure they looked down on this before. People thought doing this right here was like the bottom. But then it turn around and find out that this is how you gonna get that chicken. This right here is the new wave. It didn't turn full surface, and the world is seeing that doing this is the wave. Hold up. So a lot of people got stories, a lot of people that got insight, a lot of people that, really have personalities. So it's like, you got your own movement. When before, people was controlling your personality. You got to say this. You got to do this. You got to act like this. Now it's like you get on here and you know, be you, and the audience that rock with you gonna gravitate to you by being you. You know? So that's deep right there, man. You know, it's like you never know. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to all y'all that rock with SBGB TV, man. You know, we appreciate you. If you haven't already smashed that like button, hit that like button, man. Hit that subscribe button, man. Share this live. You know, we appreciate you. Big facts. So let's see what else we got here. Let's see what else we got here, man. Shout out to all y'all, though, man. Appreciate y'all. Big facts. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet, too. Yeah. You know we appreciate y'all, man. Let me see. Appreciate y'all. Let's see what else we got here, man. We hanging out for a minute. Yeah. We hanging out for a minute. SBGB TV live calling show. What's popping?
What's up, Deezy? What's up, man?
What's going on with you, Days? What's popping?
Man, long time no see, my dog, but I'm finally catching you live, man.
Okay, what's cracking?
Man, I just wanted to tell you, stay consistent to the grind. I wanted to let you know that you was in my YouTube recap of the year. I just want to let you know I might not can catch up on every live video, but I still do watch the clips. But keep going and stay consistent, dog. You moving on up.
And I appreciate you for catching what you can catch and tapping in. You know, make sure you hit that like button, and we ain't stopping.
All right, Dizzy, I'm gonna let you go and finish watching the live, man.
I appreciate you, baby. Smash that like button, though. Hit that subscribe button, man. Shout out to all y'all that rock with SBGB TV.